giveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.
Truth Nation, this is Truth Be Told's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes.
And we want to encourage you to get out and vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
Your vote matters, and this is the election where you can make your mark.
If you have not registered to vote yet, that is quite okay because you can register to vote on Election Day in Wisconsin. Yes, same day voter registration.
Visit myvote.wi.gov to find your ballot and polling location. That is myvote.wi.gov.
Shape your future, Truth Nation, by getting out to vote on Tuesday, November the 5th.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Stop touching that snooze button and get ready to clock in with the best morning show on the planet.
It's okay when we're singing, we're dancing, we're playing on the field, making everybody else laugh, making everybody else millions of dollars. But as soon as we have a voice, we're punished for it.
Giving you an informative dialogue with a side of fun and laughter while cutting through the noise and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines.
Look, it takes 5 minutes. Notice I'm not getting into details about what goes on in Switzerland, but those that know, you know what I'm talking about.
Get a little. And then,
do it again. Do it again.
A little.
That's it.
You know what it is, Truth Nation. It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
My point is, if you're 40 or if you're still trying to push for something, it doesn't mean that it's over just because it's been delayed. Delayed doesn't mean denied.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, this is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming on YouTube.
You gotta love black folks. We gonna make a way out. What you mean, man? All you gotta do is get
I gotta do is put a little oil in it.
Go get the Robitussin so we can get this car fixed.
Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach, Denise Thomas, and two-time Emmy Award winner, Telly Hughes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 22nd. 2024, and the reason why I'm so hyped this morning, Telly, it is early voting day.
Yes, it is. Get it going. Now the race officially begins.
You know what? Like, it's just bob your head as you're placing your early vote.
Right.
Just walk in that, office or wherever you're going to vote,
right.
Just have this playing in the background. Like, we ain't playing games.
And come out, ain't I? Ain't I?
Go ahead and turn it up, DJ Ricky. We're not playing games, y'all. We're getting our votes in early. Hey, just turn it up real loud as you're pulling up to the poll. What'd you say, Is that? I'm very embarrassed myself. Is that Shawty Low? No? T.I.? Okay, it's T.I. Thank gosh.
Yeah.
Thank gosh I got it right on the second guess.
One, yeah.
But yeah, that's what you. Let's go, Telly.
Yeah,
Let's put on one of our favorite crunk, go get crazy, get lit hype musics, and just pull up to the polls today.
Pull up to your local Waukesha poll and be bumping some of that and see what the reaction is.
Go to a carnival walk. Look at me. I'm being so bad. Go to Whitefish Bay.
Or play that Jeezy. My president is black. My Lambo is blue. They'll be like, wow.
What? You're a little presumptuous, aren't you? Oh, there you go. There you people go with your enthusiasm. You doggone right. Shoot.
Playing that Jeezy.
I'm literally picturing you and me in like the Truth van.
Bumping it loud.
Do it again. Wait a minute. We got to get that song. Ricky, what's it called? My President's Black by Jeezy?
By Jeezy.
Let's go ahead and just bump that. Why not? It's early voting day in Wisconsin. Good morning, Truth Nation. Hope you are having a great start to the week. There's so many things that are helping us go vote. Like, first of all, the weather.
Yes.
The weather is going to be awesome today, Truth Nation. Mm-hmm. I am not a meteorologist, so I'll just say this. What's the weather going to be like, Denise? I'm so glad you asked. It's going to be good enough for you to go out there and place your early vote. How about that? How about that for a forecast?
Mm-hmm. No, that's what's up. It's that time, DT. It's that time, and you can vote all the way up until November 5th. But, the earlier the better.
The earlier the better. And as we mentioned, today in the state of Wisconsin, it is early vote day. And both Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz, as well as Madam Vice President, who is the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, have also been touring and asking people to vote. Actually, both parties, the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, wants you to go out there and vote. Now, we know that Wisconsin offers early voting. Now, keep in mind, early voting in Wisconsin is also part of absentee voting. Okay, so Wisconsin does offer early voting, which in Wisconsin is called in-person absentee voting. We got to make sure that we don't get confused with these terms.
Yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yes.
I was a little confused myself.
Yes. So today is the day where you can vote early. Things that you need to bring is a photo ID if you want to vote early today. Have a photo ID. Now, the acceptable photo ID does not need to contain a current address. So, for example, your passport. But here are the photo IDs that are acceptable and can be unexpired or expired after the date of the most recent general election. So your Wisconsin Department of Transportation issued driver's license, even if driving privileges are revoked or suspended, or with or without a star in the right-hand corner. Oh, yeah, we preaching today, Telly.
Oh, wow.
We preaching today. We're not playing games.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who think, I'm not going to be able to vote.
I was about to say,
yes,
it sounds
you are.
like you're running out of excuses to not vote.
Also, a Wisconsin Department of Transportation, I'm just going to say DOT, a Wisconsin DOT issued identification card with or without a star in the right-hand corner. We've said that. A Wisconsin DOT issued ID card or driver's license without a photo issued under the religious exemption. A military ID card issued by a U.S. uniformed service. And as I mentioned before, a U.S. passport.
Hey.
Don't give me no excuse.
Yeah. I mean, even if your driving privileges have been suspended, you can still use the ID to go. Some people are like, no, that's a setup. They go, they may have a warrant out for me, but no, they can't even do that.
Can't even do that. Look, and Telly, we're just getting warmed up. Yeah. There's more. If you have a veteran's photo ID issued by the Veterans Health Administration of the Federal Department of Veteran Affairs, that can be your ID for today. Their certificate of naturalization that was issued not earlier than 2 years before the date of an election at which it is presented. A driving receipt, Telly.
Oh, wow.
A driving receipt issued by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation can be used as acceptable ID to vote early today.
Wow.
An identification card receipt is also. So whether you just, went to go get your driver's license or your state ID card and it wasn't ready yet, but you got that receipt, that's acceptable ID.
Wow.
A temporary identification card receipt issued by Wisconsin Department of Transportation through the ID process is valid for 60 days, and it's acceptable ID. Now, the driving receipt and the ID card receipt, that's valid for 45 days. So if it's got, like, for example, 2022 as the year, it's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah. You can't do that.
DJ Ricky, let's hit him with that hype music one more again. We're not playing, y'all. It's early voting day in the state of Wisconsin. Our Truth Talk and Text line is 833.
That's how you pull up.
Oh, yeah. 212-1017. Turn this up. Go to the poll. Get your vote. Hey. What? Let's go, Truth Nation. It's early voting day. Hey.
So pull up bumper now.
In Whitefish Bay. Delafield.
I don't know what those rappers be saying, but I think they said that their president is black and something is blue. Something in limbo is blue.
Name the counties again. We're going to go into Delafield, Oconomowoc, Waukesha, Whitefish Bay.
We're going Germantown.
Let's not forget about Port Washington.
Hey, man, we just go pull up playing that. We can't vote at all these places. We just go pull up playing.
I'm weak. And then look, when you see that person who thinks they're in charge, what did DT teach us? Break out that U.S. Constitution. Like, that's kryptonite.
Right.
If a black person pulls out the U.S. Constitution to anybody, that is kryptonite. Like you literally see the magnetic force pushing their bodies away from you. You know how that in the Marvel comics, the Avengers, when they put their hand out, they do their. That's how they put that U.S. Constitution.
Like, whoa, what's that?
You didn't have to go there.
It's on fire. Why is it illuminated?
We ain't playing, y'all. Black people are not playing during this election. Just be prepared.
No, you're right. You're right.
Some of these places try to make sure that, in these states where it's hot, they're trying to make it seem, like no bottled water. We don't want anybody to be comfortable.
Yeah. They're going to do what they can.
But here's what, Telly, I'm telling you, keep that U.S. Constitution in your back pocket. Mm-hmm. Go to Amazon. You can order a pocket-sized U.S. Constitution, copy of the U.S. Constitution. I showed y'all mine last week.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure did.
What you say, Telly?
With it and everything.
What'd you say? I can't do what? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Flash! Look, they have the Constitution. What?
Yeah.
They have the U.S. Constitution now. How did we let this happen? The blacks have got copies of the U.S. Constitution.
But I am very curious, though, DT. We were talking about this, and I hope we remember everything that we were talking about during our prep. But what really is the percentage of voters out there that are still undecided? Because every other day, we have one of the candidates in Wisconsin, and they're constantly saying that we're still out here campaigning for those undecided voters. Like, are there really still that many out there?
Yes, and not so. When we come back from our first break, I've got the 2024 general election early vote report, the most recent one as of yesterday. This was updated yesterday, and it breaks out. And you can access this information as well. This is all public information, and we're going to get into where you can see it. But basically, in the state of Wisconsin, there have been a significant of in-person early votes, also known as absentee votes, as well as mailed ballots, absentee votes, that have been already submitted. So we're going to break this down. But yes, Telly, believe it or not, there are still some people. And actually, based on my understanding, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, that's exactly who she's going to be targeting for the duration of this campaign, are the undecided, and then the Republicans who are registered Republicans, but are saying through different, ways of polling and surveying, I don't know if I'm going to vote for Trump.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, DT. Does she change up her messaging at this point? Because if she hasn't reached them by now, and if you're constantly saying the same message, clearly that's not working.
Great point. She absolutely should consider changing the narrative. Now, here's the thing. She wants to be, obviously, as part of being a credible candidate and a credible leader, she doesn't want to necessarily, the fundamental outcome of her messaging needs to stay the same. Like, when she says things like married couples will get, double tax credit for their children. But to your point, there's a different way that she can say it.
Yeah.
Give you a good example that's related to us. When I don't know if I should say that. It's kind of like giving away the Colonel Sanders secret recipe. How can I say this differently? Okay. There are a lot of things that organizations are trying to eliminate that are focused on the benefits and developments of us as a community. And so what we basically did was that we still we're pushing the same agenda. We just changed the packaging.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what black people do.
And that's exactly what I believe will end up eventually happening with DEI as well. But it'll just be some other letters or another name, but we're going to still general principles.
Absolutely. So we come back from break. We're going to get into additional information, and thank you on our YouTube message board. You can stream and watch Telly and I live on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll never miss a live show. But you can see Telly and I live right now. It is early voting day in Wisconsin, and we are going to get into what's behind. Speaking of early voting, a record 1.4 million ballots have been cast in the state of Georgia, which is also a battleground state. Since early voting began last Tuesday, 1.4 million ballots, y'all.
Wow.
And so when we come back, because it's early voting day here in Wisconsin, what's behind Georgia's record-breaking early voting turnout? And how can we make sure that we share that today on this show so we can do the same thing? Because we got Georgia weather today, y'all. We got Georgia weather today, so we ain't got no excuse. All right, y'all, you're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, the election is less than 3 weeks away, and we are excited for our final The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This show will break down the 2024 election and discuss whether VP Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump is the best candidate for our community. Do not miss the last The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dr. Ken Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Tori Lowe, and Jason Fields on the award-winning 1017 The Truth and streaming live on YouTube.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. Tune in this Friday night as the #1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers begin their quest for back-to-back state championship titles as they host the 8th seeded Milwaukee Marshall Eagles. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, tune into our final The Truth on Politics next Tuesday, October 29th from 6 to 8 on The Truth. This Truth Family Roundtable will engage in a thoughtful debate on the local elections and policies which impact you. They will also break down whether Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump is the better candidate for our community. Do not miss The Truth on Politics next Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dr. Ken Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Tori Lowe, and Jason Fields on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. And as you are getting your day started, we want to remind you that today is early voting day in the state of Wisconsin. That's right. You can vote.
Yes.
Today.
We see you, Erica, on our YouTube message board. I'm so excited. I'm voting today with about 5 Y's at the end. All right, Erica.
Let's go.
Yes.
We're not playing, y'all. We are not playing games. And if you're just tuning in, there are a number of resources, both online, in person, that you can reference as it relates to the early voting process today. But earlier when we first started this morning, we were talking about, listen, a lot of us think, I don't have my driver's license. I just went and got a replacement application, and the receipts are acceptable ID. Mm-hmm. Your passport is an acceptable ID. Your driver's license, if it's expired 45 days within the general election date of November the 5th, that's acceptable ID.
And something that a lot of people may not think about, and I was recently in this situation, even if your address isn't your current address on your driver's license, you can still go vote.
Go vote today. Now, there are different, again, online resources. You can visit usvotefoundation.org. You can visit the Wisconsin Elections Commission, their website, which is also known as WEC. You can visit their website at elections.wi.gov. You can go to MyVoteWI. Hold on. Let me say that right. My vote, because I want to make sure.
MyVote.wi.gov.
Thank you. Yes, MyVote.wi.gov. So there are so many resources, and you may hear the term in-person absentee voting. That is the same as early voting.
Again, I'm glad you cleared up.
Yes.
That can be very confusing.
It can be on purpose. Good morning, John. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
My comment, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My comment is just that I've been reading reports, and they're wrong that the Harris campaign is struggling to motivate black voters in places like Milwaukee, and I'm just calling to say that I'm hoping that that's wrong, because I am just frankly flabbergasted how it seems like so many of us just fail to appreciate and take serious what's at stake in this upcoming election. It's so many of us, it just seems like they're not paying attention to the white supremacists that Donald Trump has surrounded himself with, and what the implications are for when and if those people get placed in positions of power. I'm thinking about things like the abortion restrictions. I hope folks understand how that disproportionately impacts black women. I mean, they are more likely to be prosecuted under those laws that criminalize abortion. They're more likely to be the ones that's going to be allowed to bleed out in the emergency room parking lots. Those guys have they've set their sights on things like DEI and affirmative action. I mean, already we've seen notable declines in African-American enrollment for the class of 2028. They're going to the civil rights enforcement of conversations are going to be shut down. I mean, qualified immunity, things like that. I mean, the cop that shot Sonia Massey in the face, I mean, these guys are going to tell me that he gets qualified immunity. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted that people don't seem to be taking serious the implications of a second Trump term. When I'm thinking about somebody like Mark Esper, Donald Trump's former defense secretary, who refuses to endorse Trump for a second term because he sees the man as unfit. One of the things that helped him realize Donald Trump was unfit was in the wake of the George Floyd protest, when those Black Lives Matter protesters were out there. Donald Trump said, can't we just shoot them in the leg or something? They refused to do it. People like that are not going to be around Donald Trump in a second term, meaning that people they're going to do what he asked them to do.
So, John, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, John, because I hear you. I hear everything that you're saying. What do you think we need to do differently to get more black people, based on your concern, which, again, it's completely valid. I hear you. So what would be the solution? What does the Harris-Walz campaign need to do differently? What needs to be done? Because I'm assuming, and clarify if I'm wrong, that you're a black man. I'm assuming.
I'm a black man.
Okay, I don't like to assume, but based on how you were speaking in terms of what mattered to you, I was like, okay, this has got to be a brother. So, with that being said, you've been black for a long time, and you got people on our YouTube message board that are saying, "Speak the truth. This brother needs his own show." So, with that credibility and affirmation being out there, John, what do we do? Where do we go? Like, how do we fix it?
Well, I tell you what, I saw the Harris campaign go out there and lay out the agenda, how they look into and speak to the concerns of African Americans recently. But I would say this: I respect their efforts that they're making. But I would say this, with all due respect, Sister DT. I heard you say recently that you refuse to say or endorse. I think that someone like you and people, others around the nation, I think that would help our people understand that the seriousness and the implications. Those are the types of things I think.
So, John, let me explain to you why I don't publicly endorse who I feel. Let me tell you why. Because as black people, as of 2024, this is my opinion. This is not Telly or the truth. This is my opinion. We have traditionally been pressured and bamboozled to vote a certain way. I'm not particularly satisfied with the government as a whole, but that's a whole nother conversation. So it's for me, John, I'm not going to perpetuate the stereotype that all black people should be voting for this person or vote this way, because quite frankly, that to me, that's not fair. And I'll do the whole my ancestors fought, died, sacrificed so that we could vote. There was no vote a certain way. It was vote. And so now that we have that right, it's just like when Obama was, pressuring black men to vote for Kamala. Look, again, it's timing too. The way that black people voted back in 2008 when President Obama was on the ticket, a lot has changed since then. Our mindsets, the landscape of our mindsets, quite frankly, a lot of us, John, we tired of the same old, same old. So again, I appreciate you giving me that credibility of having that type of influence. But trust me and believe me, Brother John, I influence, I reach people every day. But what I'm not going to do as part of that is tell people what to do. I'll suggest, I'll recommend, but I'm not telling anybody how to vote, because my ancestors did not die for me to vote for Democrats or Republicans. They died so that I had the ability to vote.
I respect what you're saying, sister. Thank you for that. I just hope that we don't find ourselves at some time in the near future asking, how did we get here? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking my call.
Well, okay, so hold on, John. No, John, is he still there? I got a good. Okay, so John, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Do you think, so based on whoever wins the election, and I'm just asking this as a question from ignorance, because when you say things like, if, and I'm going to assume that you mean if Trump wins, we're going to be asking ourselves, how did we get here based on his leadership? Is that correct?
I'm thinking about places like Florida, where they slavery benefited folks, and they're telling the teachers of color, you may lose your job. You start these conversations. When we take that on a national scale, people are going to be scratching their head and wondering, how did we get here? And when those cops who feel emboldened to do what they want to do, and folks go out and protest, we're going to have folks saying, hey, shoot them. You better not protest. And just like down in Florida, where they passed a law saying if you run over a protester, you're immune. When we take this up on a national level, folks are going to be saying, how did we get here?
Okay. I hear you, John. And again, I appreciate, because again, there's folks on our YouTube message board that agree with you wholeheartedly, as a matter of fact, saying this brother needs his own show. I'm not going to be the person that uses and I'll just use the word influence. I'm just not going to be that black person that tells people or pressures people or makes people feel guilty about who they don't want to vote for. That's just not my nature.
I respect that.
Yeah, no, thank you, John. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, I would just want to pass this along. Our director of content, Kyle Wallace, just hit us up and was giving some more details about today. Early voting starts in the city of Milwaukee and starts today. It'll run until Sunday, November 3rd, and you can visit city.milwaukee.gov to find out where the early voting polling stations are. Again, that is city.milwaukee.gov.
Go and vote. That's my song for the day. Go vote today. And also, you have up until November 2nd to register or turn in your vote before the general election on November the 5th. Yeah. So you got time.
Yeah, you got time.
And
it starts today.
I really want us to consider, if you have any reservations or angst about voting on November the 5th, take advantage, because early voting, again, as Telly mentioned, in the city of Milwaukee begins today and goes through Sunday, November the 3rd.
Yeah. This is crazy, DT, that we are 2 weeks away from electing the 47th president of the United States.
And I'll be volunteering at the polls. Because in Texas, it's a whole process. I didn't realize how big of a deal it is. I got to look up this email so I can share with y'all like my official title. I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I just wanted to make sure that, I was like, with all the perceptions about the state of Texas, it being a red state or, being a state of a lot of old conservative traditional principles and values, considering this is going to be, in my opinion, the most historic and monumental presidential election in the history of this country, why not be in Texas? Why not volunteer in Texas?
Hey, well.
And I got my girlfriend in the glove compartment just in case anybody want to get froggy.
Look, you go see how it is in 2 weeks.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it because I always want to at least experience something before I start making judgments. Because I debated on whether or not I was going to stay registered here in the state of Wisconsin or vote in Texas. And based on both the local and state elections that are taking place, and just kind of just researching, I just felt that Sheltae said, you better keep it on your hip. Well, guess what, Sheltae? In the state of Texas, you can keep it on your hip. You can keep it on your pinky finger. You can keep it on your big toe. You can keep it on the top of your hat. Yeehaw! But anyway, so I wanted to just kind of think about where my vote, where it would be most impactful based on who I'm voting for. Because I know who I'm voting for at this point.
Gotcha. Well, apparently there's still a lot of people out there that don't know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that when we come back from break, because Georgia, maybe we can learn some things from Georgia. Georgia started their early voting. But before we get into that, Ron from the South Side, you were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call, man. Let me tell you, I am excited. There's butterflies starting to get in my stomach. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. Me and my family, we've always voted in person. My wife just said yesterday she wants to do early voting. I kind of like to show my face in the place, you know what I mean? But she wants to do early voting. I'm going to take my family. We're going to do early voting. We got to find out where we got to go vote. But to some of the callers who may be anticipating, there's a little fear there. I just want to remind you that we faced adversities before. Evil has once again knocked on our door. Are we willing to answer the call, take the sword and shield out, and defeat this evil? That's up to you and who you vote for. But for the brother that called earlier, the Holy Quran says one thing: keep your faith, but tie down your camel. So keep it on you. If you think something's going to happen while you're going to vote in person, keep it on you. I'm not inciting violence or like that, but if you fearful like that, I mean, I'm just saying. That's just a thought.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ron, from the South Side. And as Ron had mentioned, and thank you, Ron. I love to hear our listeners calling in and letting us know they're going to vote early today. Yeah. He's even going with his wife. myvote.wi.gov. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Again, we're going to get into why Georgia has record-breaking early voting turnout as they started their early voting last week. Maybe there's some notes that we can take because it is early voting day in the state of Wisconsin. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Check out Jammin' with Juice, where it's amazingly juicy.
I'm gonna tell y'all straight up though, y'all little brothers, y'all little sisters, y'all doing good. I don't think y'all know how good y'all doing it.
Thank you.
Because y'all, it's hard to get the young people to talk about these important issues.
Like, let's say you washing your body, you washing your hair, you wash your face, you cleaned your ears, you got behind them ears, you brushed your teeth, your makeup off, you done exfoliated, you done shaved. Why not brush your teeth in the shower? Why not use the bathroom in the shower? As we wrap up the show with a bow, I'm flaming, bitch. You was looking up to Steve Harvey.
Yeah. He was a positive black man, you know.
I feel it.
Had a good show. He had some swag.
He was a music teacher.
He was the music teacher.
You love music.
Yeah. Shoot, he was messing around with the principal. Like, come on now.
He thought he was playing.
Yeah. He's a king of comedy. This man doing it. I want to be like Steve. What's up, my jammer?
What's up, guys? You know what? I just want to say you guys are the best thing rocking at 12 noon. You guys just bring so much energy to 12 o'clock. I don't even be wanting to eat my lunch because I want to hear what Big Jamming and Naughty Juice got to say.
You sitting at the crib, you watching TV, and your life's passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next month. No, do it right now. You can do it after work, or you can do it before work. Just do whatever you need to do to graduate. There is definitely a line when it comes to just enhancing your beauty versus like completely altering your entire body in more ways than one to look completely different.
From the 414 to everyone across the globe, Jammin' with Juice is here for you. Check out Jammin' with Juice daily on YouTube.
Discover Epic Moves Studio at 3815 West Fond du Lac Avenue right here in Milwaukee. From group workouts and dance sessions to photography shoots, book signings, and birthdays, they've got the space for you. Need a stage? They offer rentals for all of your interior and exterior events. Pricing varies by size and time. Join the community and connect at www.epicmoves414.com or call 347-559-7355. Epic Move Studio, where your next event comes to life.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Truck crash? Call Gruber offices. One call, that's all.
We do have some delays along eastbound 94. First, from about Highway 164 to Highway F, and then again from the Zoo Interchange to about 68th Street. Westbound 94 is backing up from 25th to Mitchell Boulevard, and then eastbound on 894 slowing out of the Hale Interchange towards Forest Home. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly to mostly cloudy, isolated afternoon showers, mild with a high of 72. Tonight, partly cloudy, becoming breezy, a low of 51. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's going on, Truth Nation? Well, we'll tell you what's going on first and foremost in the state of Wisconsin. It is early voting day. There are numerous resources that you can utilize on the internet to find out not only where you can vote early today, but the acceptable forms of ID. And let me tell you, this list is very liberal. It is not as conservative as you think. You might think, man, all I got is... So, for example, I misplaced. Your girl DT misplaced her driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
And so yesterday, I didn't realize this, but you can replace your driver's license online. You can skip having to go to the DMV. And as it relates to early voting, I could use my receipt that was emailed to me from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation as an acceptable form of ID if I wanted to early vote today in Wisconsin. Yeah. So please make sure that you visit myvote.wisconsin.gov and Telly, the website that you just shared valuable information. That's the city.milwaukee.gov website.
Yes.
And as Telly had shared before, you can visit that website to find exactly where you can vote based on your address.
Yes, in Milwaukee, you sure can. So all the information that we are getting, we are trying to pass along to make this process as easy and seamless as possible.
Yes, and based on the most recent 2024 general election early vote report for the state of Wisconsin, the amount of early votes that have already been submitted as of yesterday, 10/21, is 326,124 early votes have already been submitted, counted for, and the mail ballots returned 326,123. Now, mail ballots requested. So far, Telly, there have been 603,268 mail ballots requested. And so we're almost at the million mark for early voting in the state of Wisconsin. Now, as far as Milwaukee County goes, we are at a 51% rate. So the ballots that have been mailed in and returned in the state, in Milwaukee County, as of yesterday, 47,804. The mail ballots that have been requested as of yesterday, 93,728. So that basically means that out of all the ballots that have been registered online, I want to vote early, we've got about 51% of those votes.
Wow.
Good morning, Al. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
It's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Good start.
My comment is for the voters who are undecided. Let them people rot. Them people got basic common sense, and ain't nobody gonna pull your teeth and ask you who you're gonna vote for. Okay? They remind me like them family members. Everything in their life falling apart, their house falling apart. They know what they need to do, and what do they usually say, DT and Telly? What you gonna do about it? You know what they usually say?
What's that?
I'm going to let God fix it. When you need to fix it. So we need to focus on the people who's voting now, all right? Because everybody got basic common sense. So for those who's undecided, let them rock. And whatever side of the fence they're found on, that's based on them. When they should just come out and just say, I'm lazy, I don't feel like voting, I want the benefits, but I don't want to put the work in. So those who's undecided, let them rot. And wherever their cars fall, they'll fall. Just make sure when them cars fall, you don't come calling me, because all you had to do is just vote. Have a good day, everybody.
There you have it. Al, live on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, his very courageous and dynamic op-ed on, and I quote, if you don't early vote or if you undecided, you can rot. Talk about pressure. Tell us how you really feel, Al. Don't hold back, please. If you're just tuning in, good morning. Today is early voting day in the entire state of Wisconsin. So early voting for this year's general election, which is on November the 5th, begins today and ends on November the 3rd. Now, just to keep in mind, early voting is available in the form of in-person absentee voting. Telly, he keeps making sure I clarify this, because don't believe the hype and feel that there's a difference. Early voting is the same as in-person absentee voting. Now, each city, including Milwaukee, are responsible for setting the dates and the hours of in-person voting, which is early voting as well, for their municipality. So please make sure that if you plan to vote early today, which is, again, also known as in-person absentee voting, you find out, based on where you live, where you can place your early vote today.
Yeah.
And again, Telly, we're at 50% of the votes.
Like I said, good start.
Good start. Yeah. Keep it going, y'all. This is early voting day on Truth Nation. Now, when we come back from break, our previous caller, John, said basically, if the other person wins, if Trump wins, don't be asking, how did we get here? And I want to ask the question, is that same question not applicable if Madam Vice President is elected? Because there's going to be a reaction regardless of who wins. There's going to be a very hostile reaction in this country. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jamming with Juice each and every day on 1017 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power, or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. Tune in this Friday night as the #1 seeded Marquette Hilltoppers begin their quest for back-to-back state championship titles as they host the 8th seeded Milwaukee Marshall Eagles. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Go vote. Go vote. Dun, dun, dun. Go vote. It is early voting day, Telly. Truth Nation, you are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. We could not ask for better weather on this early voting day in the state of Wisconsin. It is Tuesday, October 22nd. It is early voting day. Let's go. We've been talking about voting, whether it's early, whether it's absent, whether it's in person on November the 5th. Let's get into it. Pat, you've been so patient. Good morning. Thank you for your patience. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
I have a comment. Good morning, y'all. I have a comment. My comment is, I'm still undecided. I keep going back and forth if I'm going to vote, if I'm not going to vote, if I'm going to vote for Kamala, if I'm going to vote for Trump. But I want to say that I am really, the thing that made me not want to vote is because the fear-mongering for the Democratic Party, like to vote for her, is going to make our lives better and we're going to be great and we're going to be walking in the sunset. I don't understand. And as far as people who are undecided that Al said are lazy and want to do this and want to do that, he called every day with something negative to say about somebody who's undecided. I just want to say people that are undecided are not lazy, Al. You're lazy because if you wasn't, you get on your knees and ask God to take that homosexual spirit off of you. Goodbye.
Now, see, I was good with Pat until we got to that point. And that's why, Pat, you hung up because okay. All right, we're going to move on. Let me just say this to because I see Telly and I, our personalities are quite different. But when we're offline, there's a lot more that we have in common than we don't. But I do know Telly's style, so I'm just going to do like I usually do and go ahead and just say what. Listen, you can feel however you want to feel about whatever you want to feel with any group, whatever. But on this show, I'm just asking you. I'm asking you. Don't use this show to demonstrate any type of unhealthy bias. Okay? I feel you, but don't do. I can't speak for Tori Sherwin, but on this show, please don't do that. We got to do better. And see, this is why I don't like talking about politics anymore. because we are now in a place, our mental landscape. Are y'all with me? Our mental landscape is at a point where people are saying, if you don't do this, then you can rot in hell, or you can die, or you need to pray and get all this homo. Like, how did we? That's the question we should be asking, Telly. How did we get here?
That's
insane.
The rhetoric, again, I think that everything changed when everything became acceptable, what Donald Trump would say, and then it was. And I'm not saying that he's the reason for all of this, but I just believe that there was this culture that was, kind of put on full display when he was in office. I mean, because that's when I feel like racists really started coming out and saying, yeah, I'm a racist. I can say it out loud because I have a president that is going to say there are fine people on both sides, regardless. So, but yeah, I think that, it is really tough to talk politics in today's climate because
that hurts my heart.
It turns more personal, and because you have people that literally will be just ousted out of their families for supporting a candidate, and it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with the emotions that are tied in it. And because and let's just put it out there. If you're a black man and you go somewhere and be like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump, people going to look at you a certain way and be like, man, what's up with that?
And that's not necessary. But
right, because
my
that's
thing
your
is,
right.
For you to be so passionate about something. Okay, this is truth be told. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm right. You want to ruffle some feathers? Let's say it. We keep putting all this merit in a government that generally has demonstrated they don't care about us. And yet, we on public platforms like this radio station, and one person is telling another person, if you're undecided, you can rot. And then another person saying, pray to God to clean your homosexuality. We black. How did we get here? Because here's the thing. While we as black people, and I see you, Black Conscious, just give me a second. As we as black people are literally dividing our community based on one candidate who is a white man, who, whether you like him or not, he has said things that are racist. Period.
Yeah.
And then you have another candidate where it's like, if you don't vote for this person, you're not black.
Yeah.
And I as a black person, I've been black for almost 50 years, Telly. I am tired of how we as a community, you don't hear no other community having this much public division and pointing fingers and judging and because of the government that has yet to even acknowledge slavery. Has yet to acknowledge slavery, and we up here shucking and jiving, and then everybody's watching us, black people. Everybody, look at the black people. Look how divided they are. For an institution that has existed based on our ancestors being human trafficked, raped, divided, threatened to be murdered if they even think about getting educated, to where we are in 2024. We shouldn't be doing this to each other based on who's going to be the next president. Do better, y'all. Please. Black Conscious, we'll take it when we come back from break. I got to calm down. That hurt my heart. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, early voting has begun right here in Milwaukee. From now until Sunday, November 3rd, Milwaukee will have numerous polling locations across the city where you can cast your ballot for this important 2024 election. I want you to know that our vote matters, that your vote matters, and this is your chance to shape our community's future for the better. For more information on early voting, simply Google Early Voting Milwaukee. That is Googling Early Voting Milwaukee to find the nearest polling location near you. Get out and vote early, Milwaukee, from now until November 3rd. Milwaukee Black Talk.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Go vote, go vote, go vote. Truth Nation, our girl Melanie Ricks is back. Tune in to another episode of Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks' new digital show on YouTube tonight at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday, Melanie will break down the latest in entertainment, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. So set your clock so you do not miss Nothing But the Truth digital show tonight at 6 p.m. streaming only on YouTube. Good morning, Black Conscious. If y'all are just tuning in, we're talking about early voting. There's a lot of folks, a significant amount, I won't say a lot, a significant amount of folks that are still undecided, and rightfully so. Black Conscious, thank you for your patience. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Where is the love? Where is the love? I mean, come on, people. Don't let this election divide us more than we already are divided. You throw a brick in the pack, the only one that get hits is the one that yell. My sister, when you hear Al's name being announced and you got an issue with Al, turn the radio down. Don't turn it off. Just turn it down. Let him speak his truth and keep it moving, just like you have your truth. But we have to stop this name calling and mudslinging, because that's what they want us to do. That is their plan in totality, to keep us divided and blind. That's it. Al, you are very opinionated, and please don't bounce back with calling this woman something that she is godly and it is beneath her. But we have to stop this, folks, because none of them, DT, you said it, you took my talking points earlier. They don't care about us after we cast our vote. We don't see them no more till the next, 3 years later, until the next election. So let's not divide ourselves anymore. If you're undecided, Miss Pat, I'm sorry to hear that.
but you're going to have to make a decision. Please don't tell us you're not voting. Well, a whole lot of people have paved this way for us to have this freedom to cast our vote because there's still going to be fear-mongering. If it ain't this, it's going to be that. If it ain't that, it's going to be the next.
Well, I think, Black Conscious, I think the more, and thank you for what you're saying. I completely agree with everything that you shared. However, with undecided voters, including Pat, it's not a matter of, come on, Pat, you got to go vote. It is, what would it take? What do you need? What questions need to be answered, or what do you need in order to vote? That's what we should be asking undecided voters. Not because, again, and to your point, Black Conscious, hear me out. It's hard enough being black. And I tell people all the time, being a black woman, it's like being black twice in this country. So the last thing someone who is just dealing with their identity every day needs another, well, you better go do this or else. So meet people like Pat that are undecided where they are and say, okay, what does it take? What do you need? Because we definitely do that for white people. We are some forgiving folks. We are some accommodating folks. What do you need? Like when George Floyd, the whole white world was calling me, talking about, Denise, what should we do? You're asking me? I'm the victim. So we got to stop doing that.
I receive that. And to move forward with that, I would just have to say, morally, in your heart, and she spoke on the man above, so she has some Christian values, I believe. Morally in your heart, this man is talking about penis size over policy. He's talking about everything else but what can bring value to your life. And at least she's speaking some things of policy that will affect your life. Let's just put it in that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, but in fairness to Pat, and I totally understand, her reservations, but she's saying that she doesn't know if she's going to vote for Kamala or Trump or even at all, and so I think that everything is on the table.
Not to cut you off, but I'm only speaking to the not at all part. Who you vote for is who you vote for. You can lead a person to water, but heck, you can't drown them. So who you vote for, and once you get to that bank of the water, is what
Black
you
Conscious,
do.
let me ask you this. For the people that aren't sure if they even want to vote, what if they just don't feel either candidate? And I mean, so would you rather for them to just sit out? Or just say, you know what, skip it. I'll just, I'll do, cast a vote for Trump.
I would say a sit-out is a lose-lose for everybody. Go vote. Go vote through your mind. Go vote your conscience.
But
go
see,
vote
that's
for your children. Go vote for your
Black Conscious,
Yeah.
that is dictating. And I know your intentions are positive. But let me just say this. When you say go vote, that is black people since the beginning of our existence in this place called the United States. Do this, do that, do this. And then we forgive when we don't get any reciprocity. We still, like I said, regardless of who I vote for, I still live in a country where they are telling me my history does not matter and it will be exonerated. And on top of that, we ain't even going to acknowledge slavery. And it still impacts black people in this country today. But yet, when we vote, so here's the thing. There are people, and I do applaud Pat for her courage of being transparent and saying, I am undecided.
Out loud.
Because there are a lot of people that are listening.
Plenty.
And they feel the same way that Pat does.
Yes.
And because we call in and whether this was your intention or not, Black Conscious, you're yelling at her. When you say
that's not what I'm.
Black
that's
Conscious.
Not the energy I'm trying to
But here's
put
the
off.
thing. Here's the thing, brother. You got to understand intent versus impact. Because that's also what a lot of racist white people will do. They'll say, you're so sensitive. You're so sensitive. That wasn't what I meant. But it's not about what your intentions were. It's about the impact. So whether you were trying to support Pat and say, like, hey, you need to vote, you were yelling at her. You were dictating. You were like, you need to go vote. That's yelling.
Okay, well, I'll rewind that.
Thank you.
But I was more to the mudslinging that we get into and not deal with the issue that's in front of us. Okay, so I'll recant that, and I'm not yelling at you.
There you
Pat.
go. There you go.
I'm speaking to you softly, sister. If you don't like the thing,
and you sound so sexy when you say that. I'm getting chills over here. Go ahead, Black Conscious. Put that quiet storm voice on. That's how you get ladies to do stuff. Not go vote. Be like, babe, what's your fine self? What What do you need? What do you need from Brother Black Conscious to get out here in these streets and boy? How can I support you? What do you need from me? That's what you should be saying or consider saying.
DT, I don't need no help in this pimping, baby.
Yes,
I got
you do.
this.
Yes, you do. I'm telling you as a woman, you do.
Pat,
I've been a woman for a long time.
If you don't vote at all, we still love you. If you cast a vote for Donald Trump, I still love you. But if you don't like the things Aller said, turn the volume down. Don't turn it off. Don't change the station.
Now, we agree with that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There you have it. Live righteous, Milwaukee.
Thank you, Black Conscious.
Everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Al from Sherman Park. Telly, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just thinking about something you said earlier, and it's just when you look at other communities. I mean, can you turn on a? Let's just be real. This is a black talk radio station. Can you turn to a white talk radio station and they're pushing this same? It's so important for you to get out and vote. It's so vote. Make sure your voice is heard. Like, it's not the same. So, again, I totally applaud Pat's transparency of saying where she is right now. Again, that's what people have to realize. She's saying where she is right now. She has until November the 5th to make that final decision.
And as someone, Telly, who is can be triggered, I have a feeling that Pat, and I don't want to speak for her, so, Pat, if you want to call back in, that's fine, based on the circumstances. Pat was triggered by what Al said, because that's what she led with. She was like, I'm tired of people judging me and telling me I'm lazy just because I'm trying. Because if a person calls into a radio station and says, I'm undecided, I don't know, that is basically her way of saying, I need some answers.
I'm still gathering information.
Could you help me?
To make a good decision. That's what that means to me.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that, skip the voting process or I don't care or no, I want to collect as much information as I can to make a sound decision.
Absolutely.
For me.
And for her to, and then for, again, Al, the delivery, it was exactly, that's a great example of what not to do. Because calling people names and going for their character because they're crying basically for some support, we can't do that on this show. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. All right, Al from Sherman Park, you've been patient. Thank you so much for your patience. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Hey, I just want to remind everyone, early voting starts today, and yes, the other radio stations are telling other people to get out and vote. Today you get a chance to vote against double standards, where Barack Obama can get up at a DNC convention and make jokes about manhood size, but yet when Trump does it, the world is on fire. You get to vote against all the lies that have been told, the Inflation Reduction Act, while you're still paying for high inflation. You get to vote against green energy, which tells you to get rid of your gas-powered car while electric rates go through the roof. And then they tell you to charge up your car on the poorly distributed electric grids. You really get to vote against hypocrisy of one side telling you, look at that side, they're bad at what they're doing, but they're doing the same thing or even worse. So you get to vote for your cost of living. You know what your life was like from 2017 to 2021 when you had to pay bills, and you know what your life is like now. So you can think about those things when you go out and vote.
Man, I'm glad he ain't my campaign manager. Thank you, Al from Sherman Park. Because when Trump was in office, you didn't have no bills. You just got bills when Biden became. Matter of fact, not only do I have bills, I got Williams, okay? But, of course, when Trump was president, they all went away. I'm glad he ain't my campaign manager.
I forgot there was this thing called the pandemic during back then, too, right?
When Trump was in office, there were no bills. Go vote Trump. Good morning, Deja. Thank you so much for your patience. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning. I was just listening to the part where y'all were talking, where Pat and Black Conscious were talking, and I can understand both sides, basically. Like, this is my comment. I can understand both sides. With Pat, it's kind of like I am Pat. I'm also undecided. but it's not necessarily in a way of like I do need more support. It's more so just like the way the media is portraying this election is as if we only have the options of Trump and Kamala. You know, we really don't. There are other people who are on the ballot. It's just that, you know, those two are you could say the celebrities of the election, basically. And honestly, I just feel like when you, of course, yeah, like when you don't have the knowledge of that there are other people who will most likely do better in a presidential seat than Kamala and Trump, then yes, you're just kind of sitting there like, well, what's the point of voting? Because what's the lesser of two evils? Basically, that saying, I want to use that saying, the lesser of two evils. It's kind of, you know, it puts you in a paralyzed position. It's like, which one am I going to vote for? Am I going to vote for the Democratic that just honestly wants our power, that just wants basically our vote so that they can do what they actually want to do? Or am I going to vote for the right side who wants the same thing, honestly, and is just trying to, in a sense, like be real with us, quote unquote, so that we're more inclined to vote for that side. But really, like y'all said, you know, it's like each side has its own evils. Each side presents its own problems, and it's kind of like, I don't know. They're both like they both, to me, like I said, there are other people on the ballot. There are other people on the ballot. You know, like I said, I also do relate to Black conscience, where it's like, yeah, we do need to vote at the same time, because we don't have to have these people in office. We don't. And we do need change. We do need a lot of reparations, even as Black people in general. And I do feel like, honestly, Kamala and Trump are not necessarily looking for that. They're just trying to use all these different grab words to get our vote, basically, like I said before. So,
well, Deja, thank you so much, first of all, for being transparent and sharing your feelings, because as you heard from Pat, you are obviously not alone. And I'm glad that we have this station, to have this platform to talk about it, because here's the thing, and I'm not saying this is the reason, Deja, you are undecided. I can empathize with people who are undecided, because as Telly and I were talking about, and DVJ, I see you. Matter of fact, let's go to DVJ, but because, you know, we were talking about this, Telly, we were going to talk about this on the air in terms of Trump being 50%.
Yeah.
So, DVJ, thank you for your patience. Good morning. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, DT and Telly. How y'all doing?
Great.
I just had a question. It's a serious question too. Like, it ain't like a rhetorical or like being silly or funny or nothing like that, right? So I'm just asking, like, for Black and brown people that are voting for Trump, or you're saying you're undecided. So real quick with the undecided thing. Okay, so even the numbers show, right, 80+% of Black and brown people, Black people are voting for Kamala, right? The numbers prove that, right? So what we're doing, like, we're just basically asking. Well, me personally, I'm gonna speak for myself. When I see someone Black or brown supporting Trump, my mind goes to why? Because we all know he's a racist. Whether we acknowledge it, some of us do, some of us don't. We all know that. It's clear. And I've been alive I'm 51 years old. I've been alive. I remember Carter and all that. I don't remember any candidate ever being this blatantly racist with the stuff they say. We all know that. So when you hear somebody say, like, well, I'm undecided, somebody Black, I'm not even talking, I don't even care about white people. I'm just saying, but when we hear somebody Black say that, well, I'm undecided, I'm still thinking, we're like, my mind goes to like, wait, what? Like, dude's a racist. Shouldn't that be the deal breaker? So I'm just my question is, how important is racism to us Black and brown people? Is it like, it's a deal breaker for me. When he came down that gold escalator, was talking about the wall and all that, because I'm Mexican and Black. My daddy's Black, my mother's Mexican. So when he came down and said that, I was like, oh no, never. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I'm just asking the community, why, for the Black people that are considering Trump, or you're saying you're voting for Trump, why isn't racism a deal breaker for you? That's a real question.
That is a real question. That's a real question. Hey, DVJ, I appreciate that question. Well, we got to take a break.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to let y'all go.
Thank you. We got to
All right,
take a
peace.
break. When we come back, DVJ presents a valid question. Are black voters not considering racism and the blatant racist statements that we've heard from the Republican candidate, Donald Trump? 833-212-1017. When we come back, let us know how you feel. We want to hear from everybody. Trump supporters, Harris supporters. We want to hear your thoughts. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Friday Night Lights officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Marquette University High School championship football. Be sure to tune in every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette Hilltoppers football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
What's up, Troop Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, here for my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels has everything you need to get your home ready for the holidays. Elegant dining sets, perfect for hosting family dinners, cozy bedrooms to relax and recharge after celebrations, and fireplaces to warm those cold winter nights. Plus, with Steinhafels 18-month financing, getting your home ready for the holidays has never been easier. Steinhafels, helping you make the holidays special. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I forgot about this song, Black Eyed Peas. What's the name of the song, Ricky? Yeah, Where is the Love?
Yeah.
It's early voting day, October 22nd in the state of Wisconsin. Can we do it with
Great
love?
song selection.
Right? I forgot about this song. Where is the love?
Yes.
Y'all, people are watching and listening to this show.
Yeah.
And this is the truth, and we can speak our truth. But sometimes can we just demonstrate that we as a community, we love each other? We get on our nerves. We get on our nerves, but at the end of the day,
yeah.
Winky Blue.
Where is the love?
Winky Blue, you are live with DT and Telly. What is your comment or question?
Hey, good morning to you guys. You know, I was just listening, and the lower caller was talking. When I hear people talk about the racism of Donald Trump, I like to say, well, what did Donald Trump say exactly to offend us black people? This word racism came in, him being a racist, when he talked about building the wall, the border. And black people want to include brown, the Latino people as a part of their black culture, which is really not. The word Hispanic and Latino become a census, became a part of the census in 1970.
Hey, Winky
before
Blue,
then, they were all.
Winky Blue. If we're gonna just throw out some history, have you ever heard of the Central Park Five?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, sir.
Okay.
Because guess what? They're doing some ads right now for Kamala Harris, and that shows you the Stockholm syndrome that we have. The very type of person that locked them up and planted evidence and made them boys go away was a crooked DA. And if we look at Kamala Harris, they had to let over 1,800 to 18. You guys have to do the math on it. People be freed because of the evidence that was not allowed or that had been tampered with in California under her watch. See, the Central Park Five is, and I don't understand what's wrong with them boys, because they could just say, I ain't voting for nobody, knowing that the DA trumped up them charges. So we were talking about the Central Park Five, Telly. But listen to this. If you look at the Central Park Five, we didn't hear from 1973 until the Central Park Five, we didn't hear anything negative, and I'm not saying he didn't do it, about Donald Trump. He was out of the media. And he came on the scene in 73 when he was with his daddy. They was getting sued out there for fair housing. Remember that? That was in 73. At the same time, Joe Biden was just being sworn in as a junior senator in 73, who had robed himself with segregationists, okay? The Barry Goldwaters and all of those guys, the Democrats that were, they mentored him in 73.
Yeah, well, Winky, we can't go all the way back to.
No, we're going to have a conversation, man. Let's have a real conversation, baby.
Well, we got to get to other callers, too, Winky. We can't just.
Okay, and guess what? I'd like to say this one thing before you let me go. I know I'm fat-mouthing. When you look at the word racism, you have to realize it became a racist word when you talked about going against them people that's coming into this country. And guess what? When you say black and brown people, you automatically put yourself, black man, in a minority, because brown, you can always hang around, black, get way back. We are alienating ourselves, and we are going to be the minority in this, the minority. They'll be the minority, and they on their way to taking the white boys' spots. Yeah. That's why the white boys is pushing back.
Thank you,
black man.
Thank you, Winky. We appreciate the call.
Good morning, Tony from Tosa. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
First off, I can't believe I agree with Winky.
Oh, my gosh. I hope you don't talk as long as he does. Woo,
no,
wow.
I won't. I'll make it short and sweet. You know, this is the thing. The media has a way of demonizing somebody that might be innocent, and then somebody that's guilty, making them, like, be out the victim. And what I mean by that is just that, I'm all out of transparency. I'm going to let you know. I'm third party all day. Forget both parties. They're both trash. So I just want to, like, there's so much bloviating going on about Trump this, Trump that. And then realizing that, like, we're the ones, black men are the ones getting attacked if you don't go get along with the program. Oh, y'all silly, y'all crazy, y'all dumb, we supposed to be doing this. No, y'all ain't going to demonize us to vote for somebody that we don't want to vote for, that we know is not from our community and know that's not going to have a plan for us. I heard Sherwin on the radio the other day talking about she got a black plan. No, she didn't. She had to come out and say, hey, man, this includes everybody. But again, you didn't say that. You left that part out of there. So the other guy that called was like, oh, he's racist. I'm like, Trump he's got to be the worst racist of all. Because I don't know too many racists that's actually going to make sure that HBCUs get funding. He's going to make sure that low-level crime offenders are out for weed charges. And then also, let's look at the myriad of pictures that he was hanging around with people back in the day before he ran for office. The Al Sharptons of the world. He let Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Coalition stay in his hotel rent-free, taking up for Mike in the back of the day. If he is a racist, this dude is the worst racist of them all. Because I don't know too many Klans members like the person that, like Winky was saying, that was hanging out with Biden back in the day and still implemented these policies and thanking them for as your girl said earlier in 2020, the desegregation of the busing, which that had nothing to do with her because she was in Canada at the time. You didn't go to school here K through 12. So what desegregation of the busing are you talking about? Well, all I'm saying is we got to stop saying that realize that we're being replaced, like Winky said. And that's the biggest thing is why like he said, I ain't going to say the white boys, the other side is pissed off about this because we didn't have that. Now they got, you can look it up, LA Times was talking about they letting people get on the voting blocks in record speed that were undocumented. Why is that? We are living here watching our replacements come in where we're just like, oh, it's a feel-good thing with Kamala. I'm like, dude, in the next 4, maybe 8 years, they won't even come to us anymore. And what do we get out of it?
Thank you, Tony.
But okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your call and sharing your perspective. I mean, obviously, people need to get their feelings out, so I'm here for it. But here, and I don't usually speak for Telly, but I can tell you, we both had this conversation. Listen, if you want to vote for Trump, vote for Trump. If you want to vote for Harris, vote for Harris. But when you send messages like 833-212-1017, Tehran's like, do you have clips of Trump being a racist? Maybe play all the clips so we can hear and people can understand that he's a racist. Do you have clips of what Harris plans to change the president? Look, at this point in the game, it don't matter if I play clips. The man literally said that, look, a week before the election, they released audio where the man said, I just grab a woman by her boop, and he won. He won. 50%. But check this out. And this is what Telly and I were talking about earlier this week. This is something that sometimes people forget. Imagine being a professional athlete. And no, let's say, imagine being an Olympian track runner. And you practice day in and day out, year after year after year.
4 straight years leading up to the Olympic trials.
Competition that literally takes 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. But your whole life, since you were knee-high to a duck's butt, you have trained, you have sacrificed, you have committed yourself to being excellent. Even though you've made mistakes, you've always been committed to being an Olympian champion track runner. Mm-hmm. And here comes somebody.
Me. I just rolled off the couch. I just drank me a couple of, 6-packs. And I put out a cigarette and say, all right, I'm going to run against you, DT.
And the people's choice for who should be the winner.
And I got 50% of people saying
who should be eligible to even qualify for the Olympics is that person.
Yeah.
Look at it from the lens of people who have had an actual trajectory in government, in political science. And the fact that I'm not mad at Trump. And Telly will tell you, I'm not mad at Trump at all. Because guess what? You can't be mad at Trump. 50%. So as of right now, okay, this is the latest national poll, according to 538's National Presidential Poll Tracker. Here's where we are as of yesterday. 48.2% of this country, of this United States of America, 48.2% plan to vote for Kamala Harris, who has had a trajectory, graduated from one of the most prestigious institutions of higher learning, has had a trajectory, a roadmap of government, justice, whether you like her or not, okay? Mm. Then you have Trump, as of yesterday, 46.4%.
Hey.
And and then you have the 5.4 that's undecided. And here's why it's so important to empathize and support people like Pat and the other lady that called in. Because if it's this tight, those 5.4 undecided voters, Telly, that can make or break this election. Mm-hmm. So don't sleep on the undecided and start yelling and screaming at them. We need to be kissing.
Yeah.
What do you need?
You need to make sure that they can decide in the way that you want them to.
You want somebody to do something, you going to yell at them and judge them and call them names? Oh, that's a great way to do it.
And then you be like, you know what? All right, I'm going to go vote. I'm going to go vote for Trump. And then be like, whoa. We want you to vote, but we don't want you to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we come back, we're gonna take our caller. The Truth Talking text line is blowing up. Caller, please wait. We're going to come right to you when we come back from break. Our Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. Why are you mad at Trump when it's the people? The people that are letting us know, no matter what, we'd rather have somebody like Trump than somebody like Kamala running this country. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom. It's a right to have a child. It's a right to not have children. And this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
The Greater Milwaukee Urban League Ball is sold out, but you can still join in the fun and support the work of the Urban League. Participate in a special online silent auction of great prizes and experiences. Auction items include a night at Milwaukee St. Kate Hotel, an autographed Packers football, baseball, hockey, and soccer tickets, and a special evening at Lake Park Bistro. Go to the Urban League's website and click on the black and white ball tab. Visit tmul.org. Let the bidding begin.
Tune into the Tory Lowe Show this Thursday at 2 p.m. as he will be joined by Fred Johnson, the Vice President and Wisconsin State Manager for Erie Insurance. Tory and Fred will take a deep dive into what you should be looking for when shopping for a new insurance policy and the competitive rates Erie Insurance has to offer. They will also discuss potential career opportunities for you at Erie Insurance. So again, mark your calendars for Thursday, October 24th at 2 p.m. for Fred Johnson of Erie Insurance joining the Tory Lowe Show.
Eastbound 94 backing up a bit from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange, with the westbound side slowing basically from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43 on and off the brakes a little bit heading into the Marquette interchange. Northbound on 4394 slowing down out of the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly to mostly cloudy, isolated afternoon showers, mild with the high of 72. Tonight, partly cloudy, becoming breezy, a low of 51. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, our first Truth Summit is this Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for insights and a lively debate that you can't afford to miss. Reserve your spot for the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com. That is 1017thetruth.com. The Truth Summit is sponsored by One Milwaukee because together we are One Milwaukee, and food provided by Shawnee's Exquisite Catering.
Tune in to Jammin' with Juice today at 12:15 p.m. as they will be interviewing Jesse Tolkien of the Drive Agency about their voting initiative with a free concert series. Carrie and Ben will ask why it was so important for them to bring rappers T Grizzly and Cash Doll to Milwaukee on October 29th and encourage people to get out and vote. To grab your free concert tickets, visit ivotedconcerts.org. That is ivotedconcerts.org to get your free tickets to see T Grizzly and Cash Doll in Milwaukee on October 29th. We have been talking about, as it is today, early voting begins today in the state of Wisconsin. If you are planning to vote and you've got reservations about voting in person on November the 5th, you have starting today until November the 3rd, Sunday, November the 3rd, to place in your early vote. So make sure you vote today. And the weather is definitely going to be generous to those who decide to vote early today.
Right. And if you are in Milwaukee and you're looking for a location to go and vote, starting today, you can go to city.milwaukee.gov. That's city.milwaukee.gov, and you can find your nearest voting polling location.
Speaking of G, good morning. You are live with DT and Telly. Thanks for your patience. What's your question or comment?
Good morning, Ms. Thomas, Mr. Hughes. I guess the most frustrating thing on my behalf, people have a right to vote for who they want to vote for. But the thing is, there's so many black men calling in, like Winky and Al from Sherman Park and the last caller. They defend a lot of things that Donald Trump does. When one of the callers had mentioned Al Sharpton, I guess whatever, but Al Sharpton even mentioned on his show, said he's known Trump for like 30 plus years, that he's a racist, and all presidents have given to HBCUs, that doesn't mean that you're not racist. And they tend to overlook him renting to black people with some of his buildings in New York, the Central Park Five, the things he said about Barack Obama. All those things seem to be overlooked, and just, I guess, it does kind of anger me that they call in and defend Donald Trump, like he hasn't said anything or done anything. And most of his attack have been on, the Congo, people from Congo, Mexico, Venezuela, wherever, Haiti. They tend to overlook all those things, and even back when he was president, how he screwed up when the pandemic was ravaging our nation, for the millions of people that died, and how he handled it. And the callers that defend him, when you drank bleach, did you put it in a smoothie, or did you put it on your salad?
That was a good one.
Because remember, he told people to be. Thank you.
That was a good one. No, thank you.
It didn't work. He ended up getting COVID anyway.
Right? I want to go back to DVJ because he called in and he did remind us, look, I asked the question. It didn't get answered. DVJ, you're right. And it was a great question.
Yeah.
So this is my question, and this is for both Harris and Trump supporters, more so Trump supporters that are black. Do you think that when, or if, I should say if former President Donald Trump is reelected, do you honestly, and I mean, I'm not even being funny, I am asking like DVJ, do you think that Trump is going to as the president, based on his powers that being POTUS, is going to eliminate racism? Like November the 5th, we vote. Former President Donald Trump is reelected.
And he's not racist, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he only have one black cabinet member in his administration? And that was Ben Carson, if I'm not mistaken.
He had one black cabinet member. However, he did have a number of black advisors.
Okay.
The first 2 years, he had Omarosa. He had Jerron Smith as a senior deputy advisor.
Okay.
And so this is what we have to know. If we're going to talk about it, we got to know.
Yeah.
But my thing is, regardless of who, here's the thing. We keep as black folks talking about Biden and Harris and Trump and Pence and. Can I just ask a question? And I hope this is going to support DVJ's question. If the polls show that half of America, based on everything that you've heard come out of Donald Trump's mouth, half of America, not 10%, not 25, not 30, half of America saying, I'd rather have him run this country than Kamala Harris. Think about that for a second. Because if Kamala Harris was a white man, and you made a great point, Telly, during break, like a JFK, like a reincarnated JFK or a Bill Clinton, do you think it'd be half and half?
Heck no.
Like when the question that John asked earlier, when he called in, he said, how did we get here? I'm still trying to understand how it's split down the middle.
Yeah.
How
That's
it's
the question
split
that
down.
you really got to ask.
Because
is like, where are your thinking, your morals, and everything if after everything that you've heard, you still like, eh.
And City Boy, again, please listen to what I say. I speak one language and I speak very slow. Regardless of whether it's Harris or Trump, that's what I said. Is that going to make racism go away?
Yeah.
And if Trump gets elected, is that, because I mean, again, I'm just trying to understand based on everything that he said and done in particular. The man sat on Fox and Friends yesterday and said that he's going to eliminate City Boy. He's going to eliminate Department of Education in this country. And his words, not mine, said that if, you see schools, public schools, talking about slavery as part of U.S. history.
No money.
No money. So, City Boy, yes, regardless of who wins, but I'm talking about like the statements that are being made. He just made this last week. So you're telling me that when someone says, if you talk about slavery, because what that's basically saying is we ain't acknowledging it. We proud of it. We accept it. Forget the impact that it's having on black Americans, even in 2024. And by the way, if you bring it up as part of American history, you will get no money. So City Boy 826, help me understand that.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that, I mean, you really should get your facts right and have things to support what you are saying, because City Boy says, Kamala, let the border be run over.
Education is not a local I'm sorry, Telly. It is not a local okay, if it's a local responsibility, then why is MPS struggling now? Because they can't get funds at both the state and federal level. Federal being U.S. Department of Education.
Yeah, and when you make it a local responsibility, know what that entails. So if I'm living and growing up in South Carolina,
in terms of funding, it's not a local responsibility.
Yeah, but I mean, even from an educational standpoint. So if I'm growing up in South Carolina and I just have a class on Confederacy and the importance of what the Confederate Party was back in the day, I'm allowed to teach that. I'm allowed to teach that in my district because it's my local responsibility.
In the state of
now, that's irresponsible.
Exactly. And look, remember in the state of Louisiana, Telly, they have banners now in the public classrooms that unless you are a Christian, you will not feel as though your religion or your spirituality is included. Mm-hmm. It's going to be all about Jesus, being a Christian, and Christian nationalism, to me, is another form of white supremacy. Mm. And so, again, for people to be like, well, it's a local responsibility. Look, just look. Let me just say this: if you want to vote for Trump, go vote for Trump. But don't misconstrue information and start perpetuating these false awarenesses, because MPS literally right now is hanging by a thread because they didn't turn their homework in on time to whom? Not the local leaders, but the state and federal. That is all part of the U.S. Department of Education.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to vote for Trump, go ahead. I'm not here as DT to tell you not or who to vote for or not. That's just because I don't want nobody telling me what to do, especially with my body. But that's a whole other conversation. So I'm not going to tell somebody, oh, you should vote or you should do this. We are adults. But as part of your campaign or persuading others to vote the way that you want to vote for, I'd rather you just say, hey, man, I'm voting for Trump. You should too. Because when you start saying, well, the local, that's who. No, that's false. Come on. You got to do better.
Yeah.
I got look, when Trump ran against Biden, I'll be so glad when this, and look, I'm with your brother Ahmad. Because I said the other day, dual citizenship. But anyway, Ahmad, you feel me, brother. You get it. He didn't type it once. He typed it twice. It's not a game. But anyway, it's just we're at a point now where however you choose to vote, that is your right. But you're not going to get somebody else to vote the same way you want to vote by calling them names, judging their character. You know, talking about, well, when Trump was in office, there was no bills. Man, what?
Where were you living?
Whoever is president of the United States, trust and believe, they are not going to be able to alleviate Williams. See, I got Williams.
Yeah, that is.
Y'all, look, my kids, they got bills.
Yeah, my memory fails me when it's time to remember not having bills when any president was in office. But, yeah.
And look, a lot of people on the YouTube board, that's what I'm saying. Look, if you're going to argue and debate, I love that. I love how we have these very open debates and dialogues, but make sure you get the right facts. Because if it's a formal debate, that can get you disqualified, which is why I understand how former President Donald Trump has been able to get away with what he's been getting away with during debates. Because part of a debate, number one rule is be factual. And when your opponent is saying things that are not, which both Harris and Trump have done to each other, you fact check. Say, no. So again, if at this point, if you want to vote for Trump, just be like, I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah, and that's my prerogative.
Period.
Yeah. Because I think people have seen and heard everything they need to know.
Man.
If they are going to vote for him or not.
And it's like as if, when is the inauguration this year or next year? It's usually King holiday weekend, like the first or second weekend. Does anybody know when the inauguration, can we fact check that? The inauguration for this election.
January.
And what kills me is that after whoever is sworn in, they put their hand on the Bible and they put their other hand up in the air and their spouse or significant other is standing proudly and the kids and I hereby now. January 20th.
2025.
I hereby now pronounce you by the powers invested in me as Supreme Court Justice. You are now the 47th President of the United States. Black people, racism's gone. Black people, we're going to win now. Because whoever wins, we're going to be in a much better position.
Man.
How many presidents have we had? 46.
Yeah.
46 presidents.
And I think, but I'm hoping, but racism may be amplified.
Come on.
Either winner.
We've lived, look, there's been, Ricky's like, we got to go to break. When we come back, that's going to be my truth of the matter. Because all this hype and merit and just belief that whoever wins is going to just make it so much easier for black people. How many elections have you been through? My first president was Jimmy Carter. And the same issues as a black person. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth
Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
I'm done voting for Democrats this year. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Senator Baldwin's policies have crushed Black Americans. We are paying more for food, clothes, and everyday items than ever. It's harder than ever to find affordable housing. Democrats say defund the police. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Who pays the price when there aren't enough cops on the street? Whose neighborhood gets violent? We see that violence and pay that price, not people in the suburbs. It's folks like us trying to go to work, take care of our kids, live our lives, wondering if something's going to happen on our block. How about jobs? Democrats let 12 million illegal aliens come here the last 4 years. Who are they taking jobs from? Not people in the suburbs. They take those jobs from us. I'm done voting for Democrats this year.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cobbs Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
We're here.
You brought me to a cornfield to see a scarecrow?
Well, the mortgage lender said the money for our home is in Scarecrow.
I think they said escrow.
Oh.
There's a lot to learn when buying your first home. That's why UW Credit Union offers home loans with local expertise and a lowest closing cost commitment to make the journey easy. UW Credit Union. Apply today. Equal housing lender.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All right, it is the wrapping up of another episode of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and sharing your thoughts, your feelings, your perspectives. My truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is that however we decide to vote, we still, as a community, have to figure out how we are going to continue to elevate, rebuild, and get back to being a community. That's why we are able to vote, because 40, 50, 60 years ago, we operated like a community. You ain't got to call nobody out their name. You ain't got to judge somebody. You ain't got to go for their character because they don't want to vote the same way you want to vote, or they're undecided. Let's support those that are undecided, because 5.4% of undecided voters could make or break this election. Let's support them. Let's ask them what they need, and let's be supportive versus being combative. That's my truth of the matter.
Yeah, my truth of the matter is today is the first day of early voting in the state of Wisconsin, and up until November 5th, there will be voting that will take place, not just here, but around the country. But know this, on November 5th, when we elect our 47th president, all your concerns aren't going to go away.
Now, you better get ready for the get worse. Yeah,
because if you think racism is going to go away, if you think all of a sudden the economy is just going to be booming and you're about to get a stipend or a stimulus check, or if you think that all of these things that you feel so concerned about, all of these things you feel so concerned about, do you think they're all going to go away? Probably not going to happen. So let's just keep it real. Understand what's at stake, make the best decision for you, and don't be swayed by thinking that something is going to happen that really isn't going to happen. That is my truth of the matter.
We love y'all. Go vote. It's early voting day now until November the 3rd. Go vote. If you're undecided, find someone that you can speak with during that healthy debate and conversation and get the support that you need. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. Up next, 9 more hours of live consecutive Black Talk Radio Milwaukee. Sherwin Hughes starts now.
Peace out.
Truth Nation, early voting has begun right here in Milwaukee. From now until Sunday, November 3rd, Milwaukee will have numerous polling locations across the